Hello there, how you doing? Jeff D, MCBizSolutions.com for your marketing tip of the week. So I don't know if everyone knows out there, but James Feudo and my buddy James, have started a new podcast called Market Like a Hot Shot, right? And to be posted very soon will be our second episode about how to stand out as a marketer. Very quick story there. We did a karaoke uh, event probably a few weeks ago, and everybody sang all these great songs and all that. And then we sang a song that was totally different from everything else. But I'm going to keep you all in suspense there. And you see our podcast, which will be posted later this week, Market Like a Hot Shot. So let's get busy here. So how do you stand out as a marketer? First thing you want to do is you want to know your audience, right? Because that's who you have to impress, right? You have to go beyond the demographics and understand the pain points and motivation, right? And that's how you stand out. If you know that when you present content, you got to know your audience and have a clear, unique value proposition. You know, you need to communicate what makes you different and why that matters to your customer. And of course, a lot of people say, hey, we're different. And there's nothing worse than, hearing a bunch of marketers and they all sound the same. We do social media, we do this, we that. But instead of great service, say, what do you do? What dig into it a little bit. You want to tell a story, not a pitch. Marketing is not about pitching. That's safe for the salespeople, right? Marketers tell stories. That's what the content needs to be. People remember stories, right? They want to know about the transformation, how your product or service help people to get from point A to point B. You also have to be visual, right? Different colors. Think about when you post pictures. You always should post a picture or a video, but have it stand out. What's different about it, right? You want it to be memorable, right? Because strong brand is about consistent voice, colors, and fonts, right? And that's a big one. You want to create content people want to share, right? Because you know what? If you create something that's memorable, people are going to chuckle and probably share it with their networks, right? You want to be educational, entertaining, and of course emotionally resonant, right? So it's a lot of good stuff here. And then you also want to be, you want to be as human as possible. I always say, with AI today, everyone's kind of posting, being a little too techy out there. And then my last tip really is be first, fast, and bold. You want to be first. The whole thing about marketing, and I know this also, my day job as a recruiter too, AMC Biz Solutions, you have to really be first and be bold, because the ones that are first are the ones that have, they're already there, they're already over to their sales folks, they're already doing what they need to do. So a lot of these tips are really, as a small business owner, or even a mid-market or even enterprise, your marketing team, or if you're the marketer for your company, these are some of the tips that you should consider, to stand out. You always want to stand out. I was thinking, I'll leave it at this. This could be a restaurant, right? You could go to Providence, Rhode Island. There's a ton of Italian restaurants, right? They all have great sauce. They have great cheese. They all have great Italian dressing. But what made your restaurant memorable, right? And it's always the human connection. And that's the biggest tip there. Connecting to your customer, understanding their needs, and being first and bold. Have a good day. Jeff D, AMCBizSolutions.com for your marketing tip of the week.